Hello, everyone. In this session, we will walk you through the process of creating a custom header panel. To begin, you will need to search for the screen configuration window within the menu. Once located, you should select the specific window where you wish to bind your header panel. For this example, let's select the Payment Master window. Now choose the Header tab and toggle it on. Next, click on the Header Layout section. You need to tick the checkbox for Header Panel to allow for the binding of your header layout. Click on the three dots to zoom into the Header Layout window, which is where you will create the design for your header panel. Start by clicking New Record and enter the name as Payment Header. After that, you will need to select the alignment. There are several options, including bottom, vertical, horizontal, and vertical alignment. For this example, we will proceed with horizontal. Next, set the padding according to your needs. You can also add CSS properties under the Style field. For example, you might add font family. Remember to also set the height of the header panel to your preference, for instance, 120. Once you have made these adjustments, save your work. Now, move to the Grid Header tab. Here, you will give your grid a name, which we will call Section 1. You need to define the number of rows and columns needed, such as 2 rows and 1 column. After defining these, save the grid. You can have multiple grids within a single layout. You should add 2 more grids now. The first will be called Section 2 with 2 rows and 1 column. Save it. The next grid is Section 3 with 1 row and 1 column. Save this one as well. For each of these grids, you have the option to adjust the padding and to add CSS properties. Now go to the Item tab and click on New Record. This is where you will define the individual items for your grid. Before creating the items, be sure to select the first grid. Since this grid has 2 rows and 1 column, the items will be created accordingly. Now, go to the Item tab again and click on New Record. For the first item, you should enter Start at Row as 1 and Start at Column as 1. This will place the first item in the first row and the first column. Save it. For the second item, the Start at Row should be 2, and the Start at Column should be 1. Save this item as well. This means the second item is placed directly below the first item. You can also adjust the alignment for each item by using Align Items and Justify Content. For this particular example, you should set Align Items to center and then save it. You can also apply CSS properties to further style the item within the Style field. This allows you to apply font color, font size, and padding. Next, add an SQL column sequence. This works the same way as using column SQL at the column level to create a virtual column. You can then apply the style logic to enhance your design. Now you will repeat this process for the remaining grids. For the next grid, which is Section 2, you should create an item with Start at Row as 1 and Column as 1. Save it, and then set its alignment to center. Then, for the next item, you should set Start at Row to 2 and Column to 1. Also set this one to center. Now for the last grid, create a new record. Set Start at Row to 1 and Column to 1. In the Header panel, you also have the option to add static items. For example, you can click on Is Static Content. Let's add a label called Payment Method. You can also add style to this label, such as a font size of 40 pixels, a font weight of bold, and a color of green. Save these changes. For a static icon, you can simply input the font name of the icon in the static value field. You can also add style for this icon in the field value style. Once done, save it. Once your design is ready, it's time to bind the header layout here. First, you need to refresh. Now you can search for the header layout you created and select it. After selecting the correct header layout, click on the Save button. After that, you need to find the fields you want to display in the header panel. Go to the Field tab and search for the field you want, for example, Organization. Now, under the Header Panel Item section, tick the checkbox labeled Header Panel Item. You need to assign the item sequence number. These item numbers will be the same as the sequence numbers you defined in the Item tab. For this field, assign 10 as the sequence number and then save it. Now search for key. Tick the checkbox for header panel item and set the sequence number to 20. Save it. For name, the sequence number will be 30. Save it. The next one is mode, and you should set the sequence number to 40. Save it. To view this header panel, you will need to change your role from System Admin to Vision Enterprises Admin. Click on the Change button. Now you should reset the cache. After that, search for the screen Payment Method. Here, you will be able to see that the header panel appears like this. That's all about the header panel for now. We have created a simple header layout, but you can always enhance the layout and create a better one by using CSS properties. That concludes this session. Thank you for attending.